In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Perfect. What's up, C3 family? What's going on? It's Cody Lashley here again with what is essentially the final film room of the 2021 draft cycle. I hope you guys have been enjoying these. I certainly have had fun doing them, coming on here and breaking down some film with Panther fans. I love it, man. Like I said, I live for this time of year. I love the draft. Hope springs eternal, man. The Panthers have new life going into 2021, and all the options are open and available to us. So today we're going to continue that discussion of who the Panthers might take by talking about the third corner that we've talked about on this channel, and that's Caleb Farley, cornerback from Virginia Tech. And just a little insight here, I love Caleb Farley. I think he is an incredible football player. The film today that you're going to see, I think, is a good blend of the things that he needs to do better once he gets on into the NFL, and then the reasons why you love him. The size, the range, the arm length, the top end speed, all of it is there. And in my opinion, he's my number 2 ranked corner in this year's draft. I know the injury concerns are a problem with some people. He had an L5 bulging disc, a herniated L5 disc and a bulged S1 in his spine. So he had to go a discectomy. Now, apparently, this is the second time that he's had to have that surgery. So a lot of teams might be hesitant to pick on Caleb Farley in the first or even the second round. It really depends on how much teams are comfortable with this health evaluation on whether or not they're going to draft him. And frankly, those are tough prospects also because, knowing that they haven't had a ton of in-person time with these football teams, that the doctors haven't had opportunities to really put their hands on a lot of these prospects. It really remains to be seen whether or not they would even be comfortable drafting a player with this kind of injury history. So listen, without any more further ado, it's time to get into the film. I appreciate all of you joining me. Dawson Hunt, Isaac Irvin, Lawrence Trevette, I appreciate you joining me. Hit the like, hit the thumbs up, share this video with any Panther family and friends you might have. And without further ado, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's jump into this film. We are going to start with his 2019 film against Notre Dame. Now, this is all 2019 film because he opted out for the 2020 season. And again, he had some injury problems, so he was resting up and getting healthy. So let's take a look at this film. Caleb Farley is number 3 in your program. So instantly right there, you see his tendency to get his hand in on the play, trying to get his hand in on the passing lane. They have a tight end running a little underneath mesh concept right here. And Caleb Farley clearly sees Ian Book going to throw the football, gets his long arms out and extended into the passing lane. He's a little bit slow, and the tight end Cole Kmet still makes a good catch of the football. But you see his aggressiveness. I mean, this guy is a ball hawk. He just going to go for the football. Now, my man got faked out right there and made a tackle of a player that didn't actually get the football. But you see the closing speed. As soon as he thinks the ball is going here, he bites on the pump fake. But look how fast he's able to close on these little comeback routes and make a hit, make a play. If you watched my film room on Patrick Surtain, that was part of my criticisms, is that comeback routes would tend to get him, especially from speed receivers. So Caleb Farley lined up at the bottom in some press man bail, or some press bail coverage, rather. And they kind of line him up everywhere. They'll line him off. Now, this is a play that's all on him. So Caleb Farley gets aggressive. He thinks that it's just going to be an out route to the sideline. and the tight end cuts it and turns it back upfield, and Farley just isn't ready for it. And the tight end makes a good play, catches the football. I mean, do you see he has the athleticism to make that kind of coverage, to stay in the hip pocket? Oh, and right there, just another jump ball on Caleb Farley. And listen, if you notice, his technique isn't necessarily bad. His hips turn fast. He uses his hands to reach out as a measuring stick, get your hands on the receiver. But the problem right here is that he never turns his head back to the football. This is a 50-50 ball with a chance for Caleb Farley to go up and grab it out of the air, and he just doesn't turn his head around fast enough, and that receiver makes a good play on the football and just brings it down. So a few bad plays to start off the film from Caleb, but even in the plays where he's messing up, you see the kind of physical ability and talent that he has. Mike Recca, what's going on, bro? Definitely some good shit. Listen, my dream scenario, which obviously I would hate for Caleb, but if for whatever reason he falls all the way to the second round and we're able to pick up a franchise tackle in the first round with our 8th pick and then pick up Caleb Farley in the second round, like that's a dream scenario for the Carolina Panthers. Again, I don't know if it'll happen because we don't know how much teams are going to trust his medical evaluations. Teams have not had a lot of one-on-one time with these guys. Their doctors haven't had a chance to, really kind of evaluate their injuries. Sent him on a corner blitz. And another thing that I really like about him, too, is when they do call those corner blitzes, dude, he is, shot out of a cannon on a heat-seeking missile. You see right there, he covers up the screen pass really well. The quarterback knew that it wasn't an option. Impress bail coverage. Man on man. And listen, he is a man corner. Like, they'll put him in these zone looks right here. And, I like him in zone looks. I think he's a good zone corner. But press man coverage is, to me, where he's really going to excel on the next level just because of his hips. His ability to mirror receivers on their routes, on in-breaking routes, corner routes, and post routes, like down the field. Any of those, combination of those three, those corner routes, go routes, and post routes, he's so nimble and so quick that he just flows like water. You see right there, as soon as the receiver cuts to go to the right on the post, he is in his hip pocket the entire time. You see Ian Brooks from Notre Dame. He knows better than to really try Caleb Farley. So we got some red zone plays right here. Still want Justin Fields. Hey, I hear you, man. And by the way, to anybody who's just willing to talk draft in general, it's looking like Justin Fields is probably going to fall to pick 8, which is very interesting because I've been saying on the podcast that the Carolina Panthers are in a position to do whatever they want. They don't have to go tackle. They don't have to go corner. They can go quarterback if they want it. I maintain that Sam Darnold and sending away a 2nd and a 4th round pick is not enough for the Panthers to not justify taking what is potentially a younger, cheaper franchise quarterback. So, it's fun, dude. I'm pumped. I'm fucking pumped, man. So nothing working downfield here. Again, this Notre Dame film, they always, they don't really go towards Caleb very often. His Miami film that we're about to watch is truly incredible. Caleb Farley lined up on the sideline. Now, one of the things that I do think he needs to work on is his run defense. He's very aggressive, and I noticed that sometimes he tends to take angles that can cause the shiftier running backs to kind of juke him out of his shoes. But you see right here, man. I mean, he flips his hips incredibly well. Like, that's a combine drill. This is the exact drill that they asked you to run at the combine. Turn your hips, point in one direction, flip, turn back the other, and haul ass the other direction. You see, Caleb Farley is able to do that. He's able to backpedal for a good 20 yards. I mean, and covers ground really, really quickly. Flips his hips. Again, stays inside, cuts back to the inside on the post, lets nothing happen. And he will get physical in run defense. I don't want you to think that he won't. You see that he's able to use his length and his range. And that's why I love all the top corners in this year's draft. They all share so many of the same qualities. They have really long arms. They have really good top end speed. And you know, a press man corner, in my opinion, is the most coveted type of corner that you can have, you know? And all these guys flash the ability to do that. I mean, I have at least 5 or 6 guys that I think have the potential to be all pro corners in this year's draft alone. Alex Stark says, say what you want, but that's a huge plus of the Donner trade. Is that now it makes us super flexible with the 8th pick. 100%, dude. And I love it. The fact that we're not thirsty for any one position. It's reasonable to see the Panthers going in all those different directions. Going quarterback, if there's one available that they like, which I think a lot of Panther fans would probably still like to see happen. A cornerback like we're looking at now is, you know, perfectly in question. Oh, let's look at that, because that was, even though it wasn't intercepted by Farley, it was his coverage that really messed up this play. So Ian Book throws the go route. Cole Kmet gets just a little bit ahead of him, but you see the recovery speed. Look how fast Caleb Farley was able to make up speed and catch up to the tight end and make a play on the football for his teammate to come away with the interception. Dude, that's good stuff, man. He's aggressive. I think, you know, I really like J.C. Horn as a ball hawk corner in this year's draft and how aggressive he is in interceptions. But, dude, let me tell you, Caleb Farley is right up there as well. He is an aggressive corner. I just want him to turn his head back to the football sometimes. But as far as, you know, staying inside a receiver's hip pocket, he is absolutely incredible. So elusive. He has a great story, too. If you really look up his story and his background, I mean, he would be a player that would fit in here in Carolina absolutely perfectly. Yeah, Swish94 says if it wasn't for the injury, he'd be the number 1 corner in this year's draft. And listen, I agree. On my personal big board, which that's another thing while you all are listening, on Wednesday, I'm going to do a draft Q&A. So if you want to ask me questions, or if you just want to bullshit about the draft and talk and go over players and what the Panthers might do or what other teams are going to do, I'm going to do a really cool draft show on Wednesday and talk about everything, man. Like I said, I love this time of year. I love that you all love this time of year. And it's good stuff, man. It's just fun. Caleb Farley here. And yeah, I really want to, you know, harp on it that Caleb is my number 2 corner just from a skill perspective in this year's draft. I really do love his abilities. I think he's a little too overly aggressive sometimes. And I think he could be fooled a little bit easier than J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain, but the guy is so young and he's so physically talented. Like, some of the things that he's able to do is just so effortless. Guys might, like even right there, little things like that. The ability to stop, turn your hips on a dime, stay with him. He has his hand on him. Now, that was a bullshit penalty because that's not a hold. Panthers might move up for Pitts or a quarterback. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I think the last thing that we're going to do is move up for any player. I think the Panthers are in a really good position to sit right where they are and have a good player fall right into their laps. We have some see if we can find something interesting in the last little bit of this Notre Dame film. And you know what? To hell with it. We've already seen enough Notre Dame. Let's move on to our next bit of film, which was, from everything that I've seen from Caleb Farley, Farley is his best bit of film. And this is against Miami in 2019. So Caleb Farley is lined up here at the bottom, number 3. They always put them on the number 1 corner. Good job being physical, using his hands, trying to maintain leverage against the tackle. You see, he's just able to stop that in-breaking route, uses his hands as a good measuring stick, stays in the hip pocket. And see, he's so aggressive on those go routes, too. They're going to use receivers just to lead him up the field to get him away from the play. That is his one flaw that he really does have to work on at the next level, and it's finding the football. Even on plays that, he knows the ball isn't necessarily being thrown his way. Like right there, when he sees the football being bounced out, he has really good recovery speed. He uses his long arms, and he wraps up well. And this is why you're drafting him. This is why you're drafting him. Doesn't get tricked. Stays in the receiver's hip pocket up the entire go route. Hand in the air. If anything, the receiver was holding on this play. And Caleb Farley, man, that ball was almost intended for him. All he has to do is catch it. Good stuff. The real Zero Chill. What's going on, bro? Happy to see you in the chat. Look at the hands at the line. Let's look at this play one more time. So again, he fights back to the inside, but look how Caleb Farley is able to use his hand. And sorry that the quality of the film is so terrible, but he's able to use those long arms to gauge the direction that the receiver is going to be going. As soon as he knows that the receiver is going inside, turns, catches back up with him. He's physical. He is a physical, aggressive corner. He wants smoke. And of course, as I say that, he's putting the guy into the dirt. All right, this is some off-man coverage. A lot of people that I've read who watch Caleb Farley, they say that he's kind of handsy. I don't necessarily agree with this. I don't think that it's more so than J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain. Honestly, I think J.C. Horn and Caleb Farley can get a little bit handsy sometimes. So, it's not something I'm too worried about. And there are ways to coach that. Our coaches have to be able to teach these guys on the next level. I'm a big proponent of putting your cornerback in boxing gloves. So that way in practice they can't grab. You just take it out of their system. Jarrett Costin says, "What's up, Cody? Do you think he's one of our top 16 players Federer was talking about, or does the injury history take him out of that?" So he's having a disectomy. And this is now going to be the second surgery that he has had on his spine. So if I'm a betting man, I say that those two surgeries on the same kind of injury probably are going to give teams some pause. And again, if you weren't here earlier, the fact that team doctors aren't able to get their hands on these players, that kind of says to me that they're probably going to be a little more hesitant to take a player that they won't be able to do their own physical evaluation on. So, yeah, if I had to guess, he's probably not in Scott Fitterer's top 16. But it's not because of the talent. The man is one of the most talented corners in this year's draft, bar none. I mean, look how he undercuts this little in-breaking route to the side of the end zone. Let's take a look at this one more time. Doesn't get... Oh, hang on. Wrong play. So, again, hands on him the entire time. He sees that it's like a little in-breaking route back to the corner pylon. And Caleb Farley just beautifully intercepts that, picks off the football. Dude, that is aggression. That's ball skills. That is good stuff from Caleb Farley. Wasn't that Bridgewater? No, I don't think it was. It might have been, though. You know, underthrowing passes and whatnot. And look, he was the one running back to the quarterback to try and make a play, make a tackle. Oh, they have him far, far back. Yeah, it's fourth and 3 at the end of the quarter. Damn, that was a touchdown. Good shit. But yeah, you can see the he already has 2 interceptions in this game because he's aggressive. And that's where you see that he has the potential to be even better than he is now. If he's able to get his eyes right and high point the football and actually find the football in the air, then yeah, dude, he has number 1 corner kind of potential. I mean, all pro type of stuff. And you see the just the fluidity in which he moves. He's fast, he's physical, he's long, covers well, up the sideline. Oh, was that a flag? Chat, what do you think? Was that a good flag or no? Yeah, he definitely had his hands on him. I'm not going to lie. He has a bit of a bear hug going on right there. Just trying to make a play. See, I would prefer him have one hand on the shoulder of the receiver. Right here, I want him to look back for the football so that he can start to turn around and jump. If his eyes were on that football, dude, he can turn around and make an interception. He could have had 3 interceptions against Miami and just left one out there. That's why I have J.C. Horn ranked a little bit higher than Caleb Farley. And personally, I like Patrick Surtain's eyes a little bit better than Caleb Farley right now also, even though I prefer Farley's physical upside over Patrick Surtain. But to me, J.C. Horn is just the perfect, ready to go right now corner. However, but let me say it to you like this. J.C. Horn and Caleb Farley have the exact set of physical traits. Like, to me, they're equal from a physical perspective. 6'2" and above. They can run a 4.4, maybe even a 4.3 on a good day. Incredibly strong physical corners. But I think that Caleb needs a little more. He needs a little more polish and a little more work. Which, by the way, maybe he has done. I'm sure he's done a bunch of work in his training off season. Because, like I said, this is 2019. He did not play football in 2020. But he maintains. Let's look at that one more time. Play fade down the field. And look, that's a nut. Listen, my man Caleb Farley could have 4 interceptions in this game. That could have been number 4. I mean, look look, there is no separation. That receiver is damn near all the way downfield, and Caleb Farley just suffocates him the entire time. That is shut down corner physical ability. Panthers rule says, I think our list of corners should be Horn, Surtain, Farley, if we go corner. I'm not mad at that. I'm really not. Again, I'm not as high on Patrick Surtain as other people are. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. I just think there are a few corners that have higher physical potential in this year's draft. But with that said, I also don't undervalue just the type of mind that Patrick Surtain is at the position. He is incredibly intelligent. I just sometimes think that the more athletic wide receivers will present a problem to him in the NFL. But hey, maybe I could be wrong. What do I think of Trill Williams? I like Trill. Like I said, this is a deep corner class. I do think that there is a steep drop-off, though, at a certain point. So I'll name off some of the. Well, hang on. I'm missing some plays here. Let me go back and see what's going on, because I think that was on. That was on Farley. He just takes a bad angle, and it's those secondary cuts. He does a good job mirroring the receiver, but every once in a while, when a receiver puts their foot in the ground, cuts hard, turns back up the other direction, he has a tendency to kind of get caught slipping and just being too aggressive. And that was a touchdown that was on him, just straight up. 2-point conversion. Running back. Oh, that was a touchdown. Was that a touchdown? Yeah, no, that was a good 2-point conversion. So he's trying to cut him off, making sure that the running back can't get into the end zone. And I think his partner back here really also could have been more aggressive, and then just really didn't make a play. But yeah, that was not a good 2-play series from a man, Caleb Farley. Dude, DJ Dallas for the Hurricanes is a bad boy. All right, so they have him playing way off at this point. Virginia Tech is up. And I think that's about all she wrote for this bit of film. Yep, that's the last one. Oh, well, let's see what we get in the red zone. And not much happening. All right. Listen, Caleb Farley, that is officially all of the corners, the top 3 corners in this year's draft. And hell, we've done 4 of them. I made a mistake. We've done Greg Newsome on this channel, Caleb Farley, Patrick Surtain, and JC Horn. Please check out all of those videos. And guys, that is the final player that I'm going to be reviewing as a part of our film room series. I love doing this stuff. And listen, Wednesday, I'm probably going to go live a little bit later. It'll probably be around maybe 7:30, so I can get a good number of people into the chat room. But I want to do a draft Q&A. I want you all to ask me some of your questions that you have about players. I'm going to have my top 100 player big board out by Wednesday. So I'll be able to show you the players I have and how I have them ranked. I can justify why I have them ranked the way they do or the way that I do. And yeah, man, I want to talk about this stuff. I love the draft. I love thinking about what could happen, who the 49ers are going to draft. They might take this dude, Carl Van's favorite player, Matt Jones, at number 3. And dude, God bless him, man. That just pushes a good player down into our laps. But listen, that's all for me today. That was Caleb Farley, cornerback from Virginia. And again, keep an eye out for my draft show on Wednesday. You know we're going to do a show tomorrow night, every Tuesday night at 9. Me, Tony, and CK. Greg will join us at some point too. We're all going to be in there talking Panthers football, talking about the draft. And then, like I said, Wednesday, I'm going to do an entire draft show. I'll pull up film that you guys want me to look at. I'll bounce around to a few different players. We'll have a good time with it. So look out for your boy. My name is Cody Lashley. Hit me up on Twitter at CODYLAC. Until next time, keep pounding.